in this moment where we couldn't get in the building, more people were coming, more people were donating, more people were being a part, and it was giving us the resources to when God did open up the building, we would be able to step right into it. I can't tell you how excited I was the day they told me they were closing on the building, and 10 minutes after they started the closing, the funding fell through with the company that they were closing on. And because we had been persistent in asking them every week, is it available today? I mean, we were just persistent in prayer and persistent in our pursuit. And they called us. And that was on a Monday. Me and the team came over here, we walked the building and said, everything look okay, huh? Does everything look okay? And more than did it look okay, I already knew what God had said.
Yeah.
The way to do it is to not want it. Like that's the difference between what we have and what we were going for. I was going for God, and I got this. And I think that's what people, they go for the this and hope God comes.
Yeah, hope God bless you.
Hopefully this was you, God, but I'm going for this. I'm going for the social media fame. I'm going for the big church. I'm going to break all of the records for a church planner. I'm going for the business records. And I never went, you will not find anywhere written down that I want to be a pastor that does this and that does this. I never wrote that down. God, I just want to be in your will. Yeah. I want to know your purpose for my life. Like, I need to know what God has called me to do. And this is the thing that I tell people all the time. Don't fulfill your potential. Fulfill your purpose.
Yeah.
All throughout our childhood, we're told to fulfill our potential, but that's actually not a smart thing to do when your focus is Jesus, because Jesus had all the potential in the world. He could have been the Caesar. He could have been a Roman soldier. He could have been whatever he wanted, but when he climbed up on that cross and gave up his life, what was his word? It is finished. Not his potential, his purpose. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but you're in the middle of something right now, and you've been trying to fulfill all of these things that you're good at, and God said, it may be good, but is it me? Is it a good thing or a God thing? And many times that means we're gonna have to divorce what our degree says, what our family has told us, what we've spent all this time doing. It's because my purpose may be raising those kids. My purpose may be writing a book that only 300 people are able to read, but those 300 people then go on to turn the whole world upside down. My purpose may be serving in that local church in an area that doesn't get the platform, but is able to instill into people the true love of God. It's not about the thing that provides the greatest platform. It's the thing that God looks at and says, that's what I purposed you for. And for me, my story, I'm still discovering who I am as I walk in purpose. I don't know where I'm gonna be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, because I never saw any of this. I never wanted any of this, but when it's given to me, now it is my responsibility to steward over it.
You're following a pathway here, and God gave you, something to write down. So explain what this is and how you were kind of showing it to us a little earlier.
So I don't feel like I'm doing something that's great. I feel like I'm a part of something that God's doing that is great. And when I became the pastor with my beautiful wife, Natalie, on February 1st, 2015, 37 days later, I'm in my quiet time, probably crying, asking God, what am I doing? Like, help me. And all I hear is write this down. And I pull out my computer, and this document is what I wrote down. And the first thing I said is the Spirit Bank Event Center will be Transformation Church.
My goodness.
And I tell people all the time, God tells us to write the vision and make it plain, and he'll take it even with mistakes. I smelled transformation wrong. If you can see it, I had poor editing skills, but I just tried to get an image of what God said, and I leave it like this to let people know all you have is all you need.
Yeah.
God's not looking for perfection, he's looking for progression.
There you go.
And I wrote down these things that the Spirit Bank Event Center will be Transformation Church and all these other things. And it was March 9th, 2015. At the bottom, you guys can see it. It says 7:29 a.m. in Bella's room. And I wrote this down 30-something days after I became the lead pastor. We had less than 300 people coming to the church. We had no more than $15,000 in the bank account. We had this was crazy. This was not we can see this happening down the road. We were in a converted grocery store that we had just paid off and we're just trying to hire people. And God gave me a vision of the future. And I honestly forgot about it. Because the only instruction he gave me is when you get to 1,000 people, begin to pursue this. Well, with them 300 people that kept coming and leaving, I thought we were gonna be there forever. And literally, I began to go through this process of just pastoring and holding on to what God said. I told my mom, I told my wife, told one other person. And it's very important who you tell when God gives you a faith dream. When he gives you a faith, because some people would have killed it. They all looked at me a little crazy, but they didn't shoot my faith down. And when this relationship goals thing started moving, people started finding out about the church. People started driving from neighboring cities to come to our church. In 2018, we went from 1 service to 5 services in that location. It about killed me. We were preaching and people were coming in. It was lined up back on the highway. We had cops, people parking in the grass, parking down neighborhoods. It was just crazy. And I'm like, what is going on? I said, God, I need another building. God, show me what we need to do. He said, I already gave you the plan.
Oh my gosh.
And I said, you already gave the plan? Could you tell me again? Send the email again? Because I don't, and I totally forgot about it. And one day in prayer, so strongly, the Holy Spirit said, I gave you the plan in Bella's room. And I had forgot about it, and I was like, hold on. I remember I did a document, and I had to search a different hard drive, and this thing came up, and as soon as I saw it, the Spirit of God welled up on the inside of me in faith. I called my mom. I said, I know what we're supposed to do. I need you to agree in prayer with me. We were looking at different buildings and old Kmart's and old Sears buildings and said, I'm done with the poles. I don't want no more poles because this has to be a place where we can film and be. I just saw all this because God gave it to me when we had nothing.
Yeah.
I come to the building. I said, get me a meeting with the people. And they said, it's not for sale. God, I thought you just told me that I'm supposed to. And he said, believe my word. I want you to walk in crazy faith. I want you to believe me, even if it doesn't look like it. And when I tell you, we begin a process of what I thought at the moment was a setback, it was a setup. In this moment where we couldn't get in the building, more people were coming, more people were donating, more people were being a part, and it was giving us the resources to when God did open up the building, we would be able to step right into it. I can't tell you how excited I was the day they told me they were closing on the building, and 10 minutes after they started the closing, the funding fell through with the company that they were closing on. And because we had been persistent in asking them every week, is it available today? We were just persistent in prayer and persistent in our pursuit. And they called us. And that was on a Monday. Me and the team came over here. We walked the building and said, everything look okay, huh? Does everything look okay? And more than did it look okay, I already knew what God had said.
Yeah.
It wasn't even if I knew that everything was right and everything, I knew what God had said. And he had opened the door. We put the earnest money down on a Tuesday. The people who had been in negotiations came back with full funding on Friday, but they couldn't get it because we already had it tied up.
Come on now.
And this is the crazy thing about it. It even gets crazier. The man that wanted to buy the building came to me and said, I'll give you $1 million to walk away from it. And I said, no, man, I got a word from God. Yeah. He said, I'll give you $1 million and free usage of the auditorium for 5 years if you walk away from it. I said, man, I really think that we're supposed to have it. He said, $2 million. I said, well, let me think about that, But then I told him, I said, no, if you want it that bad and God gave me a word, I know we're supposed to own it for the kingdom of God. And at that moment, we began that process. We told our church, and I did this whole thing. I got the keys, and we began to shout in victory. We put $6 million down on this building that was built for $54 million, 975 car garage. Pastor Mike, why are you saying the numbers? Because I want you to know how impossible this was.
Right.
I want you to know how unlikely this was for us. We bought the building for $10.5 million. They put a brand new roof on the whole thing before they gave it to us. They fixed stuff. They gave us $2 million of furniture, TVs, and everything that came with the building. And we were able to move into this building in September 2019, paid it off in December 2019. So in 5 months, we paid the whole building off and were able to burn the mortgage at our church anniversary to the glory of God.
Come on now.
At TBN, our mission is to use every available means to reach as many individuals and families as possible with the life-changing gospel of Jesus Christ.
Thank you for helping make the gospel of grace go around the world.
Without you, we couldn't do it. God bless you.